How we doing? One life, choose life. Wonderful. It's so good to be here with you guys. I came from sunny Miami to even sunnier LA, and I have just enjoyed being here and exploring the beautiful city that is LA. But I think my favorite part has just been walking with each and every one of you and seeing those awesome signs that just prove that today we're here to celebrate life. But I think sometimes it's easier to celebrate someone else's life, and we forget the importance of celebrating your own life. And so I grew up in Miami, Florida. My family is Dominican, very loud, rambunctious family. If you see it in Encanto, has anyone seen Encanto? So good, right? I know, I'm obsessed. So something like that, I think it kind of celebrates the culture of who we are and where we're coming from. And so I grew up finding out that my life was a gift. And I would constantly hear my family tell me that my life was a miracle. And the reason why I heard this and knew of this is because I've had 2 near-death experiences. So I grew up in a hospital, mostly. I've had 13 ear surgeries. And when I was 7 years old, I was in a hospital for 3 months, and I was close to death. Of course, in the good Hispanic way, no one told me that that was going on. I didn't know this until about a year later. Has anyone ever had an experience where your parents run into someone in a supermarket and they have like a ketchup of life on aisle 5 by the bread aisle? Do you know what I'm talking about? Exactly. So that was me. I'm 8 years old now, and my mother is running into someone, and she's like, oh, sí, porque Mari, like, ella casi se nos muere el año pasado, right? They say, Mari almost died last year. And I looked at her and I said, Mom, I was going to die? And she goes, oh, yeah, honey, I just didn't want to worry you. And I was like, okay. And that's where I found out. And that's where I found out the huge miracle that my life was. So I grew up constantly hearing this. But here's the thing that I want to talk to you about today. I think it's crazy that we always wait for something horrible to happen to celebrate our own life. Right? It's either we wait for something like a near-death experience, or someone gets cancer, or someone dies, or someone is struggling, and then all of a sudden we're really, really honoring these lives. Yesterday in Hollywood Drive and seeing the stars of Steve Irwin and Celia Cruz and all these people that have passed away, and understanding that we need to be celebrating each and every one of our lives now. To be pro-life, you need to first be pro your life. And so even though I grew up with this awesome story and knowing that my life is a gift, thank you, Lord, because obviously I'm alive, right? But we should be celebrating this all the time. And why is it so hard? It's hard because we live in a culture where we're constantly comparing ourselves to other people. We live in a culture where the closer you are to someone, the worse things you can call them. Do you guys understand that? I never understood that, but it's true. And we live in a culture where oftentimes the worst and most hurtful words don't even come from the middle school bully. They come from our own family. I love my family, and God bless my grandmother, but I have the grandmother who one day I'm too fat, one day I'm too skinny, one day my hair is too long, one day my hair is too short. My nails, if they're not red, she doesn't like them. And this is like how things are. But we need to understand that to understand our own value, we need to understand the power of words. And we need to understand that your life is a gift. And so I want you to turn to the person next to you, and I want you to say, you are a miracle. Yeah. And then I want you to understand something. To understand the gift of what this is, we need to claim who we are, right? And so all of these things that we hear in our families and all these things of what we do, the church describes the family as the domestic church. The church says that the family is a school of love. It is there where we learn our identity. It is there where we learn to love. It is there where we learn about our faith and who God is. It is there where we learn who we are. And so I'm looking at these beautiful families around me. Parents to kids, kids to parents, all of you. We need to be able to first edify each other through our words. That we need to be life-giving through the ways that we speak about ourselves and through the ways that we speak to each other. We need to be able to know and claim the truth of who we are. Even if I had this beautiful childhood, I've struggled a lot with knowing my identity, and it wasn't until I really encountered the Lord that I was able to really see who I am in Him. That first I am a daughter, that first I belong to Him. And so we need to be pro-life with our words. Even when you have the aunt that has different political views that leaves the chat because she disagrees with someone. This is a true story. This is my aunt. Even when you have the sister who has completely different views than you, even when you have the cousin that judges you all the time, we need to first understand that before we can disagree on something, we need to agree on the fact that every single life has value and has dignity. And the way that I speak to each one of you, the way that I look at you in the eye, I want to be able to reflect the truth that you are good and that you have value. And so in our homes and in our families, may we edify each other through these words. May we edify each other by the way that we speak to each other. That when we go to a restaurant, that we can take a minute to get to know who the person's name. Take a minute to look at them in the eyes. I teach students and I work with teens all around the world, and oftentimes they don't know their value because it's easier to think of 5 negative things than 5 positive. So I want to leave you with these words, and I hope that you can repeat it with me. I want to take a minute to claim the truth of who you are and the goodness of who you are, because it is only when you know your goodness and your truth, it is only when you know your value, that you can value the life of every single human being around you. It is only when you can claim that truth that this world can truly be a culture of life. Not only because we're standing up for born, but from conception, there's a moment when the sperm meets the egg, there's that moment, there's a spark of life, that there's a microscope that literally shows a spark occurs at that moment. That your life is a miracle, and that we need to be celebrating that miracle every single day. And so in Isaiah 43, it says, when you walk through deep waters, I will be with you, and the waves will not overwhelm you, because you are precious in my eyes, honored, and I love you. So I want to claim these truths today. So please repeat out after me. I am chosen. I am loved. My life has dignity. I am valuable. Now I want you to turn to the person next to you and say, your life has value. You are chosen. And you are loved. Thank you so much. I hope that you can help me to build this culture of life by the way that we love ourselves and love one another. God bless you.